Can you believe it's already almost the end of January?
I really can't.
It's December, just kidding. No, it's really the end of January by the time you guys are watching this. And yeah, so we made it through 1/12 of the year, hopefully unscathed.
Jesus fuck,
I
is going
know.
really good.
Right? It's this like total making this the time go by.
I was double checking your fractions check out there too.
Yeah, 1/12 seems like not a very popular fraction, but I'm going to use it anyway.
No,
so
that's good. That's good shit.
What you want?
So you have been on Instagram and social media a while. How long would you say you've been doing this?
Getting close to almost 4 years.
Close to 4 years.
4 years. Not a full 4 years yet, but
right.
From the time I started doing what I do, I mean...
what you do,
yeah.
Which is...
Start shit. Poetry. Let's go back to calling it poetry. I'm going to change this every other one, right? Today, I'm a poet.
Today, you're a poet. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about, in that 4 years, you have obviously interacted with a lot of people. You've made a lot of friends, some enemies, some unfollowers, but it's, it is what it is. So have you ever, tell me the most uncomfortable encounter with a fan, if you have one. Have you ever had a fan that's just totally like crossed a line or said something totally out of the blue, and how did you deal with that?
None of the really uncomfortable ones would have been people I considered fans. Of those would be the enemies. A lot of the worst comments or interactions were people who never were following me and then saw something I wrote that they didn't like due to somebody else sharing it or something, and then stopped by to tell me what they thought of me, and I didn't give a fuck. I used to let shit like that get to me. That's part of it. If you're gonna be very public and very out there, then I don't see why people waste time on some dumb redneck like me, no matter what my opinion is or if they agree with it. Right. But I don't, and I used to be like that. Just have to set everybody straight on everything I saw that fucking got posted on the internet. Right. Now I'm not anymore because I have a voice. Like if I see something that really makes my eye twitch, I'm not going to go on there and comment. I'm going to write my own thing about it and start my own shit about it.
There you go.
And so
good way to look at it. So you talked about being open. So you're open in a lot of ways, including like your sex life.
Yes.
And you have posted at length about various at length. Yes. Do people ever take that as and I'm getting somewhere with this, but do people ever take that as a license to engage in similarly veined conversations with you about those kinds of things?
That's a really good question, and it's now, and if you're familiar with the comment, primarily on Instagram, it happens a little bit because I got an Instagram page, I got a Facebook page where I have almost identical content, but really not very redundant audiences there. Right. So it's kind of two different vibes go on when I share different things. But on Instagram, the comment section can get out of this fucking world. Really? But that's all in a comment section. People understand that I'm married. Yeah. That I love my fucking wife. When I write about her, I tag her in my post. She's not this abstract, this dude's wife.
She's a real person.
Natasha fucking Welch, and she's the coolest thing about me. So, and people understand the vibe, the long-time followers and even newer people come along, and you see one or two posts and you read through the comments and you're like, oh, this is what kind of party we're having here. And people are comfortable with it. People, so in that sense, I'll post something very sexual, and to a complete outsider, I know I've experienced people like messaging me later on and being like, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Because people get thirsty in my comments. And
that was primarily what I was curious about.
In the comment section, and I'm cool with that. We've always encouraged that. My wife comes along and jokes along with us. I like that part. Like, that's what I like about our relationship is that I'm not married to a jealous bitch. And I like showing that off. Yeah. I like, not only do people come in my comments and we play around and a lot of innuendos and this and that, but I can like if I see a yoga model on Instagram, I can leave some little heart eyes emojis in the comments.
And it's not going to be an
like,
issue.
I hope my wife don't see this.
Yeah.
You know? Now, to speak more directly to what you're saying, this is all in the comments. This is all out in the open. I'm a married man. My wife can see this.
Right.
No women have never gotten an inappropriate message from a woman.
Really?
Behind the scenes on my social media. Yeah. And I get a lot of messages from women, and it's always
like positive about your work,
either positive about my work or relationship advice. Because I think a lot of times people think if you're in a good relationship, it's because you know what the fuck you're doing. Yeah, I'm learning as I go along. Believe me, y'all, I'm just as fucking surprised as any of the rest of you that I'm in a good relationship. Yeah. But
Natasha's a pretty cool chick. I mean,
yeah, my mom. This is what a shock it is that I'm in a good relationship. My mom still, every time we're all together and she sees Natasha, at least one point she says to Natasha, "Thank you for loving Jeff." I'm like, the fuck?
I mean, come on.
So, and when I get those messages, and a lot of times it's about, either there's some here recently, especially since I've been sober for a year now, they might have a spouse.
Congrats, by the way.
Thank you. They might have a spouse who has a drinking problem, or they might have it. So I spend a lot of time behind the scenes messaging women.
Yeah.
My wife always knows about that. No lines are ever.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like I've never had to. I can't think of any time where I had to set a boundary with somebody and be like, hey, I'm married. You went too far. I feel like
even thirsty dudes. Like, do you get a lot of gay guys?
That's different. And I'm not going to say there's a lot of them. Yeah. But there've been a few. I've never gotten a dick. I don't want to say I've never gotten a dick pic because now
unsolicited.
I'm just.
Oh, well, because now you might.
I haven't asked for a fucking dick pic.
Obviously,
either.
Yeah.
No.
That's what I'm saying. Unsolicited dick pics. Like, that's sort of
I've never opened up and been a dick pic. I don't want to say that now. I feel like I'm putting myself at risk, and it's going to be like.
It might be a test of who's watching this show.
Hot dogs falling all over me. But I've received messages that were definitely more along the crossing the fucking line. And I'm not talking about crossing the line because of my sexuality, because who the fuck knows? But in terms of me being a married man.
Right. I feel like dudes are more likely to go down that road anyway.
They don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Like, I'm filthy.
Yeah.
I'm nasty. I'm extremely sexual. I'm a lot inappropriate.
Yeah.
There's boundaries. And somehow, for as stupid as I am, for as ridiculous as I am in people's comments when I'm talking to people in messages, I've still never had that instance where someone was like, well, you've crossed the line here. If they told me that, I would be like, oh, sorry about that. And I do have to watch that. I worry about that a lot because kind of my thing is the craziness, the openness.
Yeah.
And then you never know when it's just going to be that one time where
you just like
you do it with the wrong person and it's taken the wrong way.
Right.
And I'm not, like, I don't get scared. Like, it
goes back to the respect thing that we talked about. It's
the respect thing. And I feel like you hear a lot now that guys are like, well, you can't say anything because of the Me Too movement or whatever. I say a lot. I get away with a fucking lot. Because I start from a position of respect.
Right.
You can joke around more. You can say more. You can play around more. You can express yourself more. If people involved know you're coming from a position of respect.
And that goes back to like what their comfort
thirsty
is.
Ass.
Yeah.
They just know they're 20 seconds from seeing your fucking dick and they don't want to.
Right. Right. It's like, keep that away from me.
Yeah. You have to ask more than once for a dick pic.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You're not going to get this if you have not requested it.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like earned that shit.
People don't understand.
You know whose dick this is?
Yeah. And my thing is like, especially with dudes who are thirsty and want to go down that road, it's like, it's not a hard thing for me to go find a dick pic on the internet. I don't need to see that. Like, it's you know what I mean?
Not a hard thing.
But you know what I mean? It's like, and I feel like especially women, like that's they don't need to see your dick pics. Like they got access to that shit if they want it. Like, just have a conversation.
Doesn't? Like, I see a lot of dick on porn. You know, it's like, you don't need a picture of a dick.
Right.
This is a thing for me.
But they think their dick is special.
See, I got married young. And then and back then, like, I didn't even have a cell phone back then. You know, that's how young I got married. Then I was very religious through that marriage. That's a whole other episode or whatever. So I'm married 14 years and I come out of it, and I did not realize, like, some of this shit. Mm-hmm. I'm like, really, y'all just, like, don't even ask. You just send a picture of your. I actually had to threaten to kick someone's ass. For sending my ex-wife a dick pic out of the blue while we're getting a divorce. And I'm like, and they knew, like, from my perspective, I'm like, that was my ex-wife, and especially during that time, like, we get along pretty well now, but during that time, she was not my favorite motherfucker. But I'm still looking at this like, you're still a boundary. You heard we're getting divorced, and you're trying to shoplift the fucking pussy off of a single mom of 3. Yeah, like, that makes you a piece of shit. Yeah, even if it is this person that's not my favorite motherfucker right now. You know? Right. So, yeah, it just blew my mind the way the world. I don't know how it got there or whose fucking fault it is, and it just is what it is. But I'm not going to participate that way. Right. Like, you don't get the dick pics for free. Yeah, no, you gotta work for those. Right. Yeah. I don't know. I wonder too, is like, you know, because there's this whole, like, I hate the word groupie, but like this groupie culture where it's like somebody gets some sort of following and then they want to, like, get in on it, and then I don't know. I just wondered if you had ever dealt with, like, a circumstance where somebody took advantage of the fact that you are open in this way and was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna go, you know, I don't know, fuck his brains out." No. And when you say it like that, now I'm feeling a little left out. Is this a perk that I'm supposed to be expecting at this point? I wouldn't know. Because we could work things out. I can be open about that as well. Yeah. No, I haven't. And I was talking to someone else the other day about it. And because, like, I've seen other, like, dudes doing what I do, and they'll post stuff about, I'm a married man and y'all are being disrespectful, and I'm like, I've never had that. I guess we all kind of have our own level of what maybe respect looks like. Right. I know. I don't know a lot of guys who are married who could do what I do, interact the way I do, and not have their wife lose her fucking shit. That's unique about you. You've built a community around that. Respect means different people, different things to different people in a relationship, and that's fine. It shouldn't look like we're not the blueprint for anything other than how we love each other. Right. We're the blueprint for how we respect each other and what it looks like. What does it feel like when people look at you guys as sort of like a model and then do want that advice, and like when they're looking at you that way, like, that's got to feel fulfilling. It does. Because you get this, you know, hashtag relationship goals, and especially for somebody like me, I'm like, you don't even know. But in reality, it's we're perfect for each other just because we fucking are. Neither one of us were expert. We both have a track record of shit relationships. Right. Like, I feel like we've learned a lot since we've been together because we love each other in a way that we're allowed to do that. It's not like we were both at this point in our life where we'd come out of all just not any good relationships and somehow we both got it right in our heads and we made it work together. We're the main key for us, and I've written about this before, and since we're on the topic, and these are our 2 rules that we set out early on, and we were both on the same page, and I feel like it's solid relationship advice. It still might not necessarily apply to everyone. Right. You know, every relationship is 2 or more people learning how to get along with just that group. Everybody else's rules don't matter, just those people. But for us, it was starting out, first of all, 100% honesty. Yeah. Since I was, and that led into me being able to do what I do on the internet. Since I'm always honest with her, I can be honest publicly. Right. It's not like I'm going to say something. It's almost like your life mirrors your relationship in a way. Your public life does. So we're honest with each other. That was the rule number 1. We don't hide anything. We were both at this kind of just fuck it point in our lives where we were tired of hiding who we are. We were going to be who we were. And we spent several weeks. I mean, it literally felt like we were trying to scare each other off.
Yeah.
We were telling each other everything everybody else fucking hated about us. Mm-hmm. And we did all that. And it was kind of like we were trying to one up each other back and forth.
Yeah.
And all of that dust settled and we were both like, no, I can totally fucking handle this.
Right. I think you talked about how you both had sort of a track record of shit relationships. The reason I think that's important is because if there's somebody listening right now who maybe has just gotten out of a shit relationship or maybe a series of shit relationships, I feel like sometimes those people feel very defeated and like it's something wrong with them. But I think the way to look at it is you're on your way to something that once you get in it, once you find that your person, as you say, you're going to look back at those things and see that they taught you what to look for and what's right for you.
I'm big on learning your lessons.
Yeah.
And especially in relationships. And looking, and we've talked about this in a previous episode, looking back at the role you played in the shit relationship. Sometimes, and here's the thing, and this is definitely true of like me and my ex-wife. That was just everything about that relationship was toxic. It didn't end well. And it was only because we just weren't the people for each other.
Right.
It was there. I don't see it as there being a good guy or bad guy.
You can't categorically state this person was bad and I was the good.
Because I know the role I played in fucking that relationship up.
Yeah.
And then when you get in that kind of toxic cycle in a relationship, it's like one thing bouncing off another and it just gets progressively worse and worse. This thing feeds this thing feeds this thing. And you get in this cycle of everybody reacting wrong.
Yeah.
Back and forth. And that happens when it's two people that just, you get into like, is it soulmates? Is it this? Regardless of what you believe. Or whether you believe in anything, some people are just better personality-wise, better suited to each other, than others. And I think people see that as a defeat of some sort. It's like we couldn't make this work.
Right.
You just weren't the one.
It just wasn't gonna work ever. Yeah. Sorry about it, Jeff.
It's not.
I tried.
It's not always a shortcoming on either person's fault.
Right.
Sometimes it's just. I think, and this is what we did right, and. I feel like people going into relationships, both sides, do this thing where they treat it like a fucking audition.
Yeah.
It's not an audition. Nobody's auditioning anybody. It's not like you never ever go into a relationship and try to put your best foot forward.
Right. Because then if you do, you're going to set a bar really high and it's going to be hard to meet.
Show them your shit.
Yeah.
That's what me and her
Show them
did.
the worst part of you. Yeah.
Show them the worst because that's what they're going to end up living with. That's who you are day to day.
Yeah.
We're only our best selves at those really best fucking moments. And for all of us, that's far too infrequent probably. And we're always going to be a work in progress. Show them the parts of you that you're not proud of.
Right.
If they can handle that,
right,
they can handle you.
And I think show them unapologetically too. Like don't be ashamed of
you don't exactly, especially in that early part. Like I said, don't treat it like you're not trying to get Simon to send you to fucking Hollywood.
Right.
You're trying to find someone to spend your life with.
Right.
They need to be able to love you. And her and I did that. We showed each other everything and we were both like, no, we can do this.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because either one of us was an expert on fucking relations. It was just because that's my fucking person. Mm-hmm. She was fucked up in a lot of ways that made her pretty well suited to put up with me.
Yeah.
And then the other thing beyond the 100% honesty, and this has a lot to do with, like you were talking about my interaction with other people on social media.
Yeah.
0 jealousy, 100% honesty.
Yeah. That's a big one. I feel like that's a hard one too, though. It's
0% jealousy. It is.
Yeah.
And I understand the reasons why people are jealous. Yeah. Believe me, I fucking get it.
Yeah.
You haven't been through more than me in that part. I'm just going to say that and leave it at that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and she had been in previous relationships kind of in that standard dude sort of, you're not going out, you're not dressing like this. I had been in my own version of that where, and we were both like, I'm not putting up with that.
Yeah.
But since we were both I'm not putting up with that, well, you have to, if you don't want to put up with jealousy, if you don't want to be treated in that way, you can't
be that way, right?
In that way,
because it comes down to a sense of ownership of a person when you are that way, and you can't look at it that way if you want somebody to respect you, because you don't own that person. You're that person's partner. You're that person's.
I had a previous
person you're going through life with.
It wasn't in my it was in a kind of rebound relationship after my marriage, where this woman would say a lot about someone talking to my man, and I was like, I'm not your man. I'm not here because you own me. I'm here because I want to be here.
Right.
That didn't last long, because she made me not want to be there by insisting that I belonged to her, and I'm big on language, like Tasha's mine. She's mine. Yeah. But not in a belonging. But
not in an ownership. Yeah, right. Like, I signed papers and I owned you.
These are humans we're talking about, So, and that's why, and we were able to do that. It's one thing to have a conversation with somebody you're talking about being with and be like, oh no, I'm not jealous. And most of the time you're probably fucking lying. Yeah, true. We really did it. Like, and you can see on on the internet. Yeah. I'm a little bit flirty and dirty, and I don't, like I said, I don't feel like I ever cross any real boundaries there. Right. But I cross boundaries to where a lot of motherfuckers' wives would be like, oh fuck no.
No, he didn't. Yeah.
And she plays along. She has the fun with me.
I love to see that. And I noticed too that, like, she, she'll get a lot of love on there too from people. And it's just, I think you've built a really good community around your relationship.
She is the best thing about me.
Yeah.
And the reason the writing exists is because of her allowing me to explore these sides of me and be public about it. People have asked this before. I've never, like, if you followed any of my work, you've seen some pretty fucking ridiculous shit I've posted about our personal life. Yeah. Tagged her in it. I've never once in the entire time I've done this written something and be like, and send it to her first and be like,
you don't send it to her for approval.
I mean, I've sent some stuff to her first, like, I'm getting ready to do this. Be ready, but not like, am I allowed to do this?
Right. And that's awesome that you have
put
that
any
support.
Kind of restrictions on my creativity, if we can call it that.
Right. Well, that's a good segue, because if you are a fan of Natasha, I think we're going to be having her on the show in just a little bit, like in not too long from now. So maybe that's going
to be a very special episode that gets completely out of hand, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, the more out of hand the better in that case. So so you guys should definitely be
get ready, babe. Brace
yourselves. All right, if you want to interact with us and have your voice heard on this show, we have a hotline that you can call into, 209-353-4257, aka 209-35-DICKS. That's our phone number. So but we are out of time for this week's episode. Good chat. I think we broke down some barriers and talked about some serious stuff, and maybe if you guys are going through something like this, it'll help you out. So and
if you have any follow-up questions to anything we ever say, just hit us up, and
Instagram, call the number,
circle back around always do it again.
So we appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. You can also interact with us over on our patreon.com/onthesubject, or you can download the app and go on there and get the audio podcast, all kinds of extras and stuff we do in between the episodes. So we'd appreciate it. All right, thanks guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye.
Thank you.